Japan has asked the world's nuclear watchdog to send a team to assess the crisis at its Fukushima power plant. Fears of radiation leaks as well as freezing conditions are hampering rescue efforts, and it's emerged that up to 500,000 people have been left homeless by the disaster. A fire in the number 4 reactor has dealt a further blow to efforts to stabilise the Fukushima nuclear plant. Some remaining workers at the Daiichi plant were evacuated temporarily before being allowed to return. And authorities have ordered everyone within a 20-kilometre radius of the plant to leave. Those 30 kilometres away are being told to stay indoors. Well, tonight, Japan needs all the help that it can get because despite heroic efforts from the 50 or so workers still left at the plant, the situation continues to get worse, not better.
The day began with more grim news, and it didn't get any better. For the second day in a row, a fire was discovered at the number 4 reactor at the Fukushima Daiichi plant. Officials say the blaze went out of its own accord, but this afternoon white smoke or steam was seen rising from the plant. There are conflicting reports about whether that was coming from the number 4 reactor or number 3, the scene of an earlier hydrogen explosion. Then came perhaps the worst news of all, the radiation levels at the plant so high that the remaining workforce had to withdraw. The government here attempting to allay fears, though many people are sceptical about everything they say.
正門付近の放射線の量、これは時々大きく変動しながら全体としては身体に影響を及ぼす範囲の中にとどまっていると認識をしておりますが。
Tonight there are reports that the containment vessel housing the nuclear fuel rods at reactor number 3 may have been damaged. That is what the workers at the plant have been desperately trying to avoid. The fear is that the water being pumped in to cool the fuel rods is evaporating. If they are exposed to the air, the rods will heat up and release radioactive material into the atmosphere. As the situation spirals out of control, international help is on the way. 8 experts from the United States about to provide technical advice.
We first are foremost are focused right now on helping in any way we can to help the Japanese government and the power company cool down the reactors, contain it, and stop the leaking.
A no-fly zone has been imposed around the plant. Authorities say they are trying to prevent aircraft spreading the radiation. As was the case yesterday, those within 30 kilometres of the plant have been forced to stay indoors. Others nearby, but out with the exclusion zone, living in fear of an invisible threat.
Nuclear power is the most frightening thing, even more than a tsunami. The government, the ruling party, the administrators, nobody tells us, the citizens, what is really happening.
Even here in Tokyo, some 250 kilometres from the plant, concerns are growing. Tokyo is home to 12 million people, but it doesn't feel like that today. The nuclear crisis, together with food, fuel and power shortages, not to mention the constant aftershocks, prompting many people to stay at home.